So the response from episode 1 was fantastic, and you guys have got me all fired up to keep this ball rolling. So in episode 2, we're going to take a look at pivot tables. I'm Travis Tolson, and you're watching Code Creative. So over the next 2 episodes, we're going to look at 2 different strategies for building a pivot table in ServiceNow. In this episode, we're going to tackle using the native reporting engine by storing the data that we need in fields on whatever table we want to report on. This is the easiest strategy with minimum customization but maximum flexibility of the out-of-box product. So let's go ahead and take a look at this using one of VegIK's questions as an example. VegI wants to create a pivot table that groups incidents by the date and hour that they were created or updated. I'm going to use updated in this case. In the native report, this is difficult to accomplish because the row and column doesn't allow you to break down dates. It only gives you the full timestamp. So we're going to create some new fields for the reporting data that we want to report off of. And then we're going to create some business rules to pre-calculate that data for us. So first we need to create 2 new fields for our pivot table row and column. So from the incident form, I'm going to go ahead and create an updated date and an updated hour field. And you see that both of them are just basic string fields, nothing too complicated here. We just want to store the data. So once this form saves, we'll go ahead and click Close. And you'll see that the updated date and updated hour fields have been added to the form. So next up, we need to create the business rule on the incident table in order to store these field values. We're going to set it up to run as an advanced business rule on insert and update. And essentially what this rule is going to do is it's going to take the updated field and get the date and hour out of it and store it in those 2 fields so that the report can access it. So we'll just go ahead and click on Save. And we have our business rule. Next up, we're going to run a background script. So first of all, make sure that you've got your high security settings turned on. And then we're going to go ahead and run this background script. And what we're trying to do here is populate the fields for all of the existing records. That way we can get the data right away and not have to wait on each record to update. So once we run that business rule, we can go in and check on the incident table and add those fields to our table. And you'll see that we've got the updated date and updated hour for all of our fields ready for the report. Now finally, we've gotten to the main event. We can create our new pivot table. So first of all, we're going to go ahead and give it a name. And then select Pivot Table. And we'll use our updated date and updated hour fields for the row and column. And run the report. And what you'll see here is a pivot table that looks exactly like the one that VegIK was requesting in the ServiceNow community. So there you go, a simple but flexible strategy for implementing pivot tables in ServiceNow. And it's not limited to just pivot tables. Experiment a little bit. Try it with other types of charts. You'd be surprised how far you can go with the native reporting engine. Remember, storage is cheap and customization isn't always the right answer. So thanks for watching, and if you'd like your question answered on Code Creative, let me know in the comments below.